死了！你看看，哎呦，
哎呦我的妈呀！哎呀，这玻璃真厚。哎呀，那娘嘞！这。
On May 11th, 2026, a powerful hailstorm swept across parts of Shandong Province in eastern China, bringing sudden severe weather to several cities and coastal districts. The strongest impacts were reported around Rizhao, where dark storm clouds rapidly developed during the afternoon, before intense hail, torrential rain, and strong winds struck the region. Residents described the event as one of the most dramatic spring storms of the month, visibility dropping sharply as the storm intensified. The hailstorm formed during a period of unstable atmospheric conditions over eastern China. Warm and humid air moving northward from the sea collided with colder air in the upper atmosphere, creating the ideal environment for severe thunderstorms. Meteorologists had already warned that parts of Shandong and neighboring provinces could experience strong convective weather, including thunderstorms, lightning, damaging wind gusts, and hail. As temperatures rose during the day on May 11th, the atmosphere became increasingly unstable, allowing towering storm clouds to develop across the province. In Rizhao, the weather changed rapidly within a short period of time. Skies that had been cloudy and humid earlier in the day suddenly turned much darker as thunderclouds expanded across the coast. Strong winds arrived first, blowing dust, leaves, and debris through streets and residential areas. Minutes later, heavy rain and hail began falling simultaneously. Witness videos shared online showed hailstones bouncing across roads, striking parked vehicles, and covering sidewalks in layers of ice. Drivers slowed down or stopped completely because the combination of hail and rainfall reduced visibility and created dangerous road conditions. The hail varied in size depending on the location, but many residents reported stones large enough to damage crops, dent cars, and crack small objects left outdoors. In some neighborhoods, the hailstorm lasted only several minutes, while in others, repeated waves of hail and rain continued for a longer period as thunderstorm cells moved across the region. Loud thunder and continuous lightning accompanied the storm, adding to the sense of danger and confusion during the most intense phase of the event. Local authorities monitored the situation closely as emergency crews responded to reports of fallen tree branches, blocked drainage systems, and temporary traffic disruption. Water accumulated on some roads because the heavy rain fell in a short amount of time. Videos circulating on social media showed vehicles driving slowly through water-covered streets, while hail remained piled near curbs and sidewalks. Although the storm caused disruption, there were no immediate reports of catastrophic destruction in the hardest-hit areas. Agricultural zones in parts of Shandong were also affected by the severe weather. Late spring is an important growing period for many crops in eastern China, and hailstorms during this season can damage young plants and reduce yields. Farmers in some areas reportedly inspected fields shortly after the storm passed to assess damage caused by ice and heavy rain. Fruit trees, vegetables, and newly planted crops are especially vulnerable to sudden hail because the impact can bruise leaves, break stems, and strip developing fruit from branches. The May 11th storm was part of a broader pattern of active spring weather, affecting several regions of China during recent weeks. Since early April, different provinces had already experienced episodes of strong thunderstorms, hail, heavy rain, and powerful wind gusts.
起它吧！
兄弟们，兄弟们，连云港下石头了！哦，哇我捡一个给你们看看啊，大不大？
Meteorological agencies repeatedly warned that unstable atmospheric conditions during the transition from spring to summer could continue producing dangerous weather events. Residents across social media platforms shared dramatic footage and photographs shortly after the storm moved through the region. Some videos showed hailstones covering roads like scattered snow, while others captured lightning flashes illuminating dark clouds above apartment buildings and coastal streets. In several clips, people could be heard reacting in shock as the hail struck rooftops and windows with considerable force. Images of damaged tree branches and flooded intersections spread online and drew attention from weather observers across China. Transportation was temporarily affected in several districts as drivers reduced speed due to slippery roads and poor visibility. Rainwater flowing through urban drainage systems created localized flooding in low-lying areas, especially where drains became clogged by debris washed into the streets during the storm. Public transportation services in some locations experienced minor delays, while crews worked to clear affected roads and monitor conditions. By evening, conditions gradually improved as the thunderstorm system weakened and moved away from the coast. Cooler air followed behind the storm, and many areas returned to calmer weather later that night. Cleanup operations began, with residents removing broken branches, clearing ice from entrances, and inspecting vehicles and buildings for damage. Although the hailstorm was relatively short-lived, it left a strong impression on local communities because of the sudden intensity of the weather and the dramatic scenes captured during the event. The Shandong Hailstorm of May 11, 2026, demonstrated how rapidly severe spring weather can develop in eastern China. Even though the event did not become one of the country's most destructive disasters, it still caused disruption across affected communities and highlighted the risks associated with strong convective storms during late spring.
地面都下白了，你看先。
还有人在外面走，太牛了，这都能扛住吗？快点躲起来呀！
Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe.